Welcome back to another video, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about what kind of Crash games we can expect to see in the future, or what we think we could see in the future. All of this is going to be pure speculation. There is no reason to think that any of this stuff will actually happen. I think the furthest we can go with it, the only conclusion we can come to right now, is by looking at what they've done over the past few years and realizing that they're probably not going to slow down anytime soon. So to begin with, let's do that. What have they done for Crash over the past few years? Obviously they started in 2017 with the Crash N.Sane Trilogy, a fantastic remake of the original trilogy. It sold incredibly well. I think it has sold over 10 million copies at this point, which is just, insane. I'm sorry. I'm tired of making and seeing that joke. Everything about the N.Sane Trilogy did well. It sold well, it was well received by everyone. That leads us on to Crash Team Racing Nitro-Fueled, which also sold very well. I don't know if it sold as much as the N.Sane Trilogy. Hopefully someone can correct me down below if I'm wrong. What I know for sure though is that it was a massive success. If it didn't sell 10 million copies, it definitely sold close to it. Just like the N.Sane Trilogy, everyone loved it. And not only that though, but we actually got a lot of new content for this game as well. They supported this game for nearly a year, releasing new content every month for it for free. New characters, new tracks, new customization options. At this point, Crash's return was 2 for 2. The following year, they come out with Crash Bandicoot 4 It's About Time, the next mainline entry in the series. This was clearly in the works before Nitro-Fueled came out, and while I don't think this has sold as well as the two remakes, you have to consider two things. One, it's only been out for a few months, and two, they've actually made a lot of money on this despite it not selling as much because of the price. Crash 4 was more expensive than the two remakes, and so they actually still made a lot of money from it. Plus, not only that though, but this was also well received. Of course, everyone has their own critiques about it. Most people enjoyed this game, and it got a lot of great reviews as well. I'd say we're 3 for 3 at this point, so what else have they been doing? Crash Bandicoot On The Run, the mobile game that's coming out next month. It's not out yet, so technically it's not over the past few years, but we do know they've been working on it for over a year because that's when it first got leaked. What we also know is that this isn't just a shitty cash grab Crash game. If you've seen the gameplay, if you've seen how they've been speaking about this game, you can see that they're putting a lot of effort into it. This isn't just a game that they want to get out there. They're going to be constantly updating this game. They want this to be successful. They want it to last a very long time, and it looks like they're putting in the effort to make that happen. I can't say we're 4 for 4 until I play the game myself, and I don't know how well received it's going to be, but it looks like this could be another win for the Crash return. Now, the last thing I'll talk about before moving on with the future is the Crash Bandicoot cartoon show that we recently found out got cancelled. A little preview or some test footage leaked a few weeks ago, and it's a shame it got cancelled, let's just say that. This would have been huge for the Crash Bandicoot franchise. If they were going to do a cartoon show based on Crash, this is how they should have done it. This was perfect. It got cancelled over a little disagreement that they had with Amazon, and it's a shame they couldn't figure something out. This was almost a win. This was almost a W, but it's the first L for Crash's return. But it does show how much Crash Bandicoot content they've been producing over the past few years. Remakes, brand new entries, mobile game, cartoon show. They've done all these things over the past few years that I think it's safe to say they're probably already working on whatever's coming next. So what could we see in the future for Crash? I think one thing is obviously Crash Bandicoot 5. I believe we'll see a few console releases though before that. I think we'll be seeing a few more Crash Bandicoot spin-off games like another kart racer, whether they want to call it Nitro-Fueled 2 or just give it its own separate name. They could make it look more like Crash 4, the tracks could be based on Crash 4 and the different dimensions in that game. If not a kart racer, we could also see them come out with a party game, whether that be a remake of Crash Bash with online mode or something completely different. Maybe it's something they're more confident will sell better instead though, a genre of game that's more up to date. Either way, I think we're going to see some kind of spin-off in the future. Another thing we could potentially see before the next mainline entry is another remake or remaster or port. Obviously they've already done the best-selling Crash Team Racing and the original trilogy, and would they really want to waste time on games that didn't sell very well to begin with? Probably not. But you never know, they could always remake them to be better than they actually were back then. Now let's talk about when the next Crash release could be on console. I don't know how likely this is because Spyro has a game coming out probably this year, but a man can dream, okay? It's Crash Bandicoot's big 25th anniversary this year, and I don't think they'll want to miss out on that. With everything they've been doing, I feel like they want to capitalize on this. It's a very easy marketing point. I have no idea what they could actually do for that. Maybe it's a new spin-off game. But what I think will be more likely is a celebration type of game, like a remake or a collection like the Super Mario 3D All-Stars collection. Of course, those games were all classics, and it makes sense. I don't think Crash of the Titans and Mind Over Mutant collection will go down as well. So if they're going to do something like that, then a remake would be more suitable. Of course, they don't have to do anything game related for the 25th anniversary. It's just something that I feel like they could easily market. Of course, the other big thing though that would stop them from releasing something this year to do with Crash is Spyro. We know there's pretty much a Spyro game being made right now, and it's probably going to be announced and released this year. So that could obviously stop them from releasing anything Crash related this year for consoles. Not just because they don't want to release the two so close together to the point where one takes away from the other, but also because they actually need the studios to make them happen. They can't do it if they're busy working on other things. But let's just say they did manage to make Spyro 4 and a Crash remake, for example, to release this year. Would they actually do that? I think they could if they release them a few months apart. The Crash game could release a few months before the Spyro game comes out, depending on how big the gap is, because of course you've got the marketing that has to go on for both of them. I just don't think they'd want to release both of those games so close together. Of course, they did release Crash 4 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater very close together, but they're completely different games. I think Crash and Spyro, they'd want to separate. So there's two big things that go against my 25th anniversary idea. They might not think the later Crash games are even worth re-releasing or remaking, and they probably just want to focus on Spyro 4. Either way, I just like theorizing about Crash. It's fun. I like this series. Let me know down below with your own theories. I'd love to hear them. The whole point of this video, I think the only thing we can take away from it is, again, by looking at what they've done over the past few years, realizing that they're really focusing on Crash content. They're putting a lot of effort and love into these games. They've all had great reviews, and I just can't see them stopping anytime soon. So that being said, thank you for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. Definitely subscribe if you're new here, and I will see you all in my next video.